NeueHouse. We have OpenSea magazine, NeueHouse, and a couple of other partners.
Each of them have a really deep and personal relationship with technology.
Hey guys, my name is Ola Valen. I'm a visual artist and tech entrepreneur. I'm kind of an industry veteran. I've been in the space for 6 years, since late 2017. And
We're being honest. I'd love to pass it over to Sam.
Thank you. I've been working in generative art for a little over a decade now, and I started with live coding, in-person, interactive, audio-visual experiences.
Thanks so much for being here. Would you like to introduce yourself for everybody living under a rock?
Stayed in the field forever and ever, creating digital artwork, and I'm a proselytizer and evangelizer of digital art, computer art, a collector of early computer art, and was in the field for NFTs, but really love NFTs. And women have just been an important part of the field, and it's constantly surprising. You type things in and you think, why would this work look like my work? But somehow it does, because it's also a process that's iterative and curatorial at the same time. But I think that having the subject matter of the work, and that those processes just fit well together.
with and hopefully those products will be useful for them in one way or another. So I think it's like both me as a human and me as an artist and a creator, to keep in mind not just pieces of the puzzle, but connecting them and putting things together.
Like we see all over New York during this week. How's that process for you? And do you have any, maybe advice for people who are getting down this path themselves, from purely digital realms into the physical world?
Yeah, okay. So many great questions. I love that a lot of the depiction of AI in the media, there's just an incredible sort of amount of fear and loathing. And no one talks about how much fun it is to use these tools. And it's a live moment performance thing. When you're engaged with them, when you're using them, you get all these constant, delightful surprises. And I'm often awake at 3 a.m. thinking, all right, I'm just going to tweak this prompt a little bit more and see what I get. Because you put something in and it's almost right and you want to work with it a little bit more. And it's in real time. And I feel like that never comes out in the journalism, that I read anyhow. And it's very connected for me to my explorations of the collective unconscious. People often talk about the machine hallucinating or dreaming. So I also feel like it's sort of a waking dream, that you're awake and you're controlling it, but it's also tapping into this collective unconscious of this huge data, visual resource. While it was hacked, which was really an upsetting experience, but one of the plus sides of that was realizing how deeply entrenched we are in this virtual world, how much of my life is virtual. And I've been working on this series of, I call them metaversal avatars, and they're just these weird, awkward, but colorful, but slightly menacing figures that are in the as well. But I feel like I'm so much in my computer all the time that, these weird friends became really important to me, but they're going to manifest as NFT drops sometime in the hopefully near future.
Really excited to be speaking with these amazing women that I've been fans of and admirer of for a very long time. My name is Ana Maria Caballero, and I am a Colombian-American poet and artist. I've published poetry, Spanish and English. I've published a total of 5 books so far, and I have a 6th book coming out next year. So I'm very familiar with the traditional publishing world, and I feel that it is a realm ripe for disruption. And I think many of us are here because we are eager to disrupt and improve. I believe poems are works of art, and I believe that Web3, blockchain provenance, will give poetry the transactability it needs to participate in the art market, to participate in transactions that will honor the craft. Physical problem. It couldn't really be transacted in a way that reflected its value. But now, with digital poems, where we can create collaborative, incredible works, we can infuse them with voice. We can even make them very simple, text-based art. But we're going to be experiencing them in the exact same way that we experience.
NeueHouse. We have L'Officiel magazine, NeueHouse, and a couple of other partners.
Each of them have a really deep and personal relationship with technology.
You guys. My name is Ola Valen. I'm a visual artist and a tech entrepreneur. I'm kind of an industry veteran. I've been in space for 6 years, since like late 2017. And
We're being honest. I'd love to pass it over to Sam.
Thank you. I've been working in generative art for a little over a decade now, and I started with live coding, in-person, interactive, audiovisual experiences,
Thanks so much for being here. Would you like to introduce yourself for anybody living under a rock?
Been in the field forever and ever creating digital artwork, and I'm a proselytizer and evangelizer of digital art and computer art, a collector of early computer art, and was in the field before NFTs, but really love NFTs. And women have just been an important part of the field, and it's constantly surprising. You type things in and you think, why would this work look like my work? But somehow it does, because it's also a process that's iterative and curatorial at the same time. But I think that having the subject matter of the work and that those processes just fit well together.
with, and hopefully this product will be useful for them in one way or another. So I think it's like growth me as a human and me as an artist and a creator, to keep in mind not just pieces of the puzzle, but connecting them and putting things together.
Like we see all over New York during this week. How's that process for you? And do you have any, maybe advice for people who are getting down this path themselves, from purely digital realms into the physical world?
Yeah, so many great questions. I love that a lot of the depiction of AI in the media, there's just an incredible sort of amount of fear and loathing, and no one talks about how much fun it is to use these tools. And it's a live moment performance thing. When you're engaged with them, when you're using them, you get all these constant, delightful surprises. And I'm often awake at 3 a.m. thinking, all right, I'm just going to tweak this prompt a little bit more and see what I get. Because you put something in and it's almost right and you want to work with it a little bit more, and it's in real time. And I feel like that never comes out in the journalism, that I read anyhow. And it's very connected for me to my explorations of the collective unconscious. So people often talk about the machine hallucinating or dreaming. So I also feel like it's sort of a waking dream, that you're awake and you're controlling it, but it's also tapping into this collective unconscious of this huge data, visual resource. While it was hacked, it was really an upsetting experience, but one of the plus sides of that was realizing how deeply entrenched we are in this virtual world, how much of my life is virtual. And I've been working on this series of, I call them metaversal avatars, and they're just these weird, awkward, but colorful, but slightly menacing figures that are in the as well. But I feel like I'm so much in my computer all the time that, these weird friends became really important to me, but they're going to manifest as NFT drops sometime in the hopefully near future.
Really excited to be speaking with these amazing women that I've been fans of and admirer of for a very long time. My name is Ana Maria Caballero, and I am a Colombian-American poet and artist. I've published poetry, Spanish and English. I've published a total of 5 books so far, and I have a 6th book coming out next year. So I'm very familiar with the traditional publishing world, and I feel that it is a realm ripe for disruption. And I think many of us are here because we are eager to disrupt and improve. I believe poems are works of art. And I believe that Web3, blockchain provenance, will give poetry the transactability it needs to participate in the art market, to participate in transactions that will honor the craft. It's a good problem. It couldn't really be transacted in a way that reflected its value, but now with digital poems where we can create collaborative, incredible works, we can infuse them with voice. We can even make them very simple, text-based art, but we're going to be experiencing them in the exact same way that we experience